In this lesson, we will begin by explaining the subnet mask. A subnet mask is a 32-bit number that masks an IP address. It separates the IP address into network addresses and host addresses. The subnet mask is made by setting network bits to all ones and setting host bits to all zeros. Within a given network, two host addresses are reserved for a special purpose and cannot be assigned to a host. The 0 address is assigned to a network address, and the 255 is assigned to a broadcast address. A subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, and 0 would convert to all ones, all ones, all ones, and all zeros in binary. Note the binary subnet mask values cannot interweave ones and zeros. The ones are on the left, and the zeros, if they exist, are on the right. To determine a prefix or slash notation of a subnet mask, count the number of binary ones in the binary mask, and write the total after a slash. For example, the following mask has 19 bits turned on, and would be /19. Again, please note the term prefix or prefix mask is also called a slash notation or CIDR, classless interdomain routing. The idea of subnetting an IP network is to separate a big network into smaller multiple networks for better organization or for security reasons. Performance in a network is strained when excessive traffic is on the network. Excessive traffic also leads to congestion on the network due to collisions and retransmissions. As we explore further into subnet mask concepts, it is important to understand how a computer determines the network ID of any given IP address. The following diagram illustrates how the computer performs a bitwise logical AND operation on an IP address with a given subnet mask. When we perform a bitwise AND, we compare two numbers which will either be a 1 or a 0. A 1 is considered to be true and a 0 is considered to be false. As we follow the diagram and read from left to right, you will see how the network ID gets calculated. A 1 and a 1 equals 1, or true. Again, we have a 1 and a 1, so we get true. Next, we have a 0 and a 1, so we get 0, or false, followed by a 1 and a 1, which is true. A 0 and a 1 is false. A 1 and a 1 is true. A 0 and a 1 is false. A 0 and a 1 again is false. A 0 and a 1 is false. A 0 and a 1 is false. A 1 and a 1 is true. 0 and 1 is false. 1 and 1 is true. 0 and 1 is false. 1 and 1 is true. 0 and 1 is false. 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 1 and 1 is true. 0 and 1 is false. 0 and 1 is false. 1 and 1 is true. 1 and 1 is true. 0 and 0 is false. 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 1 and 0 is false. 1 and 0 is false. 0 and 0 is false. And 0 and 0 is false. Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to consider using our Cisco Adapt Prep software suite with Pass Guarantee. If you are currently preparing to take a Cisco certification exam or are simply looking to brush up on existing Cisco networking skills, then you have come to the right place. It's no secret that there are many different online solutions in the market today, but let us explain why we feel Cisco Adapt Prep is unique. Unlike other solutions, we go to great lengths to first understand your knowledge level. Traditional competitors tend to treat each learner as if they are all the same. Consider for a moment, you are someone who has been preparing for an exam for the last 3 months. Challenging you with trivial questions will waste your time. On the other hand, if you are brand new to a subject matter, challenging you with advanced questions will be confusing and will prevent you from learning effectively. With Adapt Prep, we first analyze your skill set on a personal level. This allows us to provide you with questions that will challenge you appropriately, allowing you to learn efficiently. At Adapt Prep, we take great pride in building your test-taking confidence. Many solutions offer comprehensive testing content. However, most lack the ability to understand when you are ready to take your exam and successfully pass. Understanding this principle is something Adapt Prep excels at. It does so by utilizing an earn level concept. The earn level concept is simple. When you start using Adapt Prep, your earn level will be 0. As you progress, it will continuously advance. Once your earn level reaches 7, you are ready to take your exam and pass. We are so confident you will pass your exam once your earn level reaches 7, we guarantee it. Again, we would like to thank you for your interest in our Adapt Prep software. We look forward to working with you in the future.